Yo yo yo, Moonrock ASMR back again. So it's been almost 2 weeks since the last numbered UFC event. I'm sorry guys that this is so late, but I told you already it's a bit exhausting to do a lot of videos and I just was kinda unmotivated. And since I was waiting anyway, I thought let's just wait out the next fight night too. Maybe something interesting happens. It didn't change anything about my matchmaking, so basically it's the same I would have done right after. So yeah, very weird event. I did not really like it. We will talk about main event. I don't have the fights as perfectly in my head anymore. Again, it has been 2 weeks, but yeah, I picked 10 out of them. And by the way, I got a couple predictions pretty correct. I predicted the Gregory Rodriguez fight correct. I predicted the Rob Font fight correct. I predicted the which fight? I don't know. It was one more which I perfectly predicted. Anyway, so let's start with probably the most awkward fight on this card, Cody Garbrandt. So first of all, I don't know if you saw this fight. If not, go rewatch it just for the what the fuckness of this fight, you know. So yeah, I would say watch it, but to all of you who did watch it, what the hell happened, man? The bro got like 10 groin strikes, and then when he was hyped up and like looked mad as fuck for a second, I thought, okay, maybe we get old Cody back, but also way too reckless Cody back. And he went for a flying knee just to do nothing for the rest of the round. And even though I wanted him to win, to me this would have been a 28-27 win for the Chinese fighter, because I think he won all 3 rounds, and even with the 2 points he got taken for the groin shots, he would have still won. So that was but I guess maybe they just wanted to make an example out of this case, you know, that there's no way you, like, dude, Cody Garbrandt was puking from the groin shot. That was no fake shit or anything. This guy was legit throwing up, so maybe they just wanted to say, hey yo guys, this is not the way to fight, and if you're gonna fight like that, even though if it was a mistake, clearly, you gotta take points and also let them lose just so they don't do it again. But anyway, yeah, so Cody Garbrandt, there aren't many matchups that make sense. Top 15 does not make sense at all. He's gonna get smoked by as much this hurts me to say, because I really like the guy, and his performance against Dominic Cruz, one of my all-time favorites. But again, I'm not delusional, and this guy, he won't make top 15 anymore. So the only thing I see is like gimmick fights, maybe nostalgia fights. And thinking about nostalgia fights, one guy that came to my mind was Pedro Munoz. He's also not unranked, also didn't have the best streak in recent times. They fought once already, and that's when Cody Garbrandt started to get too reckless and just start brawling instead of how he fought usually. And I feel like the Munoz fight he could have easily won, but then decided to just engage into a brawl. And yeah, but it was very fun fight, action packed, and I feel like this could be a fun rematch, just like a gimmick, again, nostalgia fight, maybe even on White House early prelims. By the way, we're gonna talk about the White House something like that, but he's also American, and yeah, why not, So yeah, Cody Garbrandt versus Pedro Munoz. I left his opponent out. So next guy we continue with is Gregory Rodriguez. I predicted first round KO, and that's what happened. This guy looks very good, very, very good. Like, it always looks like he has a slow start, or can't find into the fight, but then suddenly he pulls it off, and yeah, boom, this guy could fight at heavyweight, technically, and he fights at middleweight, so yeah, just bomb hands, and I feel like now it's the time to go for a top 5 guy. He looked very promising, and yes, he only beat the rank 13 or 15 guy, okay, but look at his resume, the last fights, and I personally think a top 5 guy will probably beat him, but we have to find out to know exactly. And middleweight is very weird at the moment. We got Strickland Chimaev booked. This is gonna be, oh my god, I can't wait for Strickland. Hamzat, the press conference, please guys, please, let's pray to God this is gonna be a banger press conference. So that fight is booked. Imavov, I don't think he will fight. He will probably get the next title shot. 2 other guys we will talk about later, and that means there's only 1 guy left, and that's Anthony Hernandez. So yeah, he lost against Strickland, but Strickland is just such an awkward guy, and I feel like it doesn't mean that you are bad if you lose against Strickland. And maybe he also was too cocky, Anthony Hernandez, I don't know, but I feel like this could be a good fight. Anthony comes off a loss, needs a build up. Gregory Rodriguez comes off a win, needs a top 5 guy, so let's do this fight to then determine. I mean, if Rodriguez wins, he should get a title contender fight, and if Rodriguez wins, again, also the same, then I would give him maybe DDP or something, but whatever. So yeah, Gregory Rodriguez versus Anthony Hernandez. Okay, next fighter is Michael Johnson. So the Drew Dober curse continues. I guess he really hits different against certain people. That's all I'm gonna say. And while some people matched Dober against the guy I will match Johnson against, I on purpose avoided this matchup to not come off as weird, but I saw celebrities like MMA Guru, he said the matchup I'm gonna give Michael Johnson, he gave it to Dober, so I would let him fight against Jalen Turner. I think it makes sense because I wanted the Hooker rematch for Turner initially, but I heard in an interview that Turner said he doesn't want to go, yeah, he got his win and everything's fine, but stay calm, stay humble. He doesn't even want to fight top 15. So I feel like this could be a cool fight. I think it remembers me a bit of the Bobby Green versus Jalen Turner fight. I feel like this could be in the same direction. And also, it's gonna be a striking match. Michael Johnson got knocked out badly. This guy, I told you guys, I think this was the fight I predicted correctly, by the way. No, I said Michael Johnson, sorry, but I predicted that someone's gonna get knocked out badly. That's what I said, and it happened. It was just the wrong guy. So yeah, but I feel like Michael Johnson versus Jalen Turner could be a fun matchup. I think Turner would win, but Johnson always pulls off these weird wins. So yeah, let's see if this could be a fun fight. Okay, next fight on the list. We got the winner, Drew Dober. Yeah, super clean performance. Bro really went for it. He had distance problems early, but then he figured out how to blitz in, and it was, I don't know, 2 or 3 punch combination. No, I think it was only a 2 punch. He used 1 punch to get close and the other one to get even closer, and yeah, chinned him and knocked him out clean. Solid performance. Drew Dober, 2-fight win streak now, and I feel like we could give him some top 15 guy. Lightweight, also pretty booked. There is Fares Siam, who is booked. Benil Dariush is booked. A lot of lightweight fights don't make sense because they are too high ranked. And the only guy that came to my mind, because he's also on a 3-fight losing streak now, and they are both like small brawler, striker type guys, I would put Drew Dober versus Rafael Fiziev. They really have a similar body type, pretty small, dense, like strong motherfuckers. And yeah, I feel this could be a cool fight. Drew Dober versus Rafael Fiziev. Let's make it happen. Okay, next fighter on the list, Rob Font. I told you guys 30-27 for Raul, and that's what happened. Super boring fight. I also predicted that. Sadly, I was right. Exactly what you expected. Super lame fight. This was one of those fights where I just kept drifting off at my phone, you know. So yeah, but don't want to talk bad about Raul. Super performance. This guy's so young, and Rob Font is a veteran, so respect. For Rob Font, it's looking very dire, very bad. I initially didn't even want to give him a top 15 guy, but one guy on my radar has also a huge losing streak in bantamweight division, and I feel like this could be a good matchup, and the guy I'm talking about is Marlon Chito Vera. So we have Rob Font versus Marlon Vera. Body type wise, they are pretty different. Vera very long, Rob Font smaller guy, but I'm pretty sure it would be a striking battle, which I'm always down for. And yeah, again, both still are top 15. Both have big losing streaks, and I feel like this could be one of those fights like who deserves to stay in top 15 and for whom is it time to fight some lower rank guy. And yeah, I feel like this could be a fun fight, but yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like Rob Font is done. I don't know what it is. The last fights I always felt like he doesn't even want to be in there anymore. Just don't take damage, collect paycheck, and go next fight, basically. Like, I can't even, not that I mean, it's not dumb, you know. For example, also fighters like Kevin Holland, it's the same. He says, I don't want to be champion, fuck being champion, I just want to fight and make as much money as possible and take as less damage as possible, ideally. So why not, you know, but yeah. Rob Font versus Marlon Vera, let's make it happen. Okay, so then to the winner of this fight, Raul Rojas Jr. guys, chiwiwis. The chiwiwi power struck again. Complete domination, 30-27. I predicted it. It happened. This guy definitely needs a top rank guy next. Don't get me wrong, nothing like Merab or Umar or stuff. Sandhagen. Someone that is in the upper class, very well rounded, who can test him everywhere, but isn't like champ caliber. And one guy that makes perfect sense in my opinion is Mario Bautista. Why is that? Bautista is solid everywhere. Great cardio, great ground game, solid striking, good fight IQ. He's not one of those guys who does one thing very good. He is very good in everything. Maybe not perfect, but very good in almost everything. He held his ground against Umar. He beat top guys. So I feel like Mario Bautista could be the perfect stepping stone to a title contender fight and then a title shot. Like if, let's say in a dream scenario for Raul, he fights Bautista, wins, and then he gets maybe like Merab or Umar or I don't know, Sean O'Malley. We're gonna talk about White House card later again. So, and then we can match him against those guys, and if he wins then he gets his title shot, because I think you can't give him one after a win against Bautista. Maybe they will, because he has a big fan base, but I feel like this could be a good stepping stone. Fight Bautista, win, then fight Dvalishvili or some other top 5 guy, and then go for the title shot. So yeah, Raul Rojas Jr. versus Mario Bautista. Okay, and now the co-main event of the evening. We got the loser, Rainier the Ritter. Oh my god, I don't even know what to say much about this fight. I don't know, the Ritter just looked lost, just as lost as he looked against Brandon Allen. I don't know what happened, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure what happened. I feel like he had huge success in middleweight early because he just completely drained himself with nasty weight cuts to even make middleweight, and he dominated his first fights. Bo Nickel and what else? Whitaker, he beat them all. But I just felt like the weight cut is wearing him down too much, and another reason why I think that is because after his loss against Borralho last week, he announced that he will move up to light heavyweight. So our next matchup has to be a light heavyweight guy, so don't be surprised why I chose who I chose. It's because of that. And I was going through the light heavyweight rankings, and to me, top 10 doesn't make sense at all. He struggled at middleweight against the top 10, and now you go up one weight class where you arguably are probably lighter than most light heavyweights, because look at most of the light heavyweights, they could easily go heavyweight, so I feel the Ritter will be one of the smaller light heavyweights, but that doesn't have to mean that he's gonna lose because of that. But I feel like you have to build him up slowly. So he comes from a 2-fight losing streak, and one guy that is still in top 15 but is also on an even longer losing streak is called Alexander Rakic. You guys know I really like this guy. I think it's so unlucky that he's on such a big losing streak. He only fought killers: Ankalaev, Blachowicz, Ulberg, like absolute savages, and every fight was close. Rakic and the Ritter, both tall guys, both kickboxer guys, so we could see a striking battle. They are also both from Europe. The Ritter is from Netherlands and Rakic, I think, Serbia. Sorry if it's not correct. Or Croatia or Serbia. So maybe we could make like an EU card, you know, maybe a fight night in Europe, something like that. As far as I know, UFC wants to do a lot of stuff in Europe too. Like we have France card, maybe Spain now with the Puria. We got UK now. This weekend is a UK card. Oh my god, very good card by the way. And now finally either Murphy or Evloev, finally they hopefully will get their fucking title shot, because at this point it's actually disgusting. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, I would make Rainier the Ritter versus Alexander Rakic in Europe, and let's see how this fight turns out. Okay, now the winner of the fight, it's Caio Borralho. Solid performance. Like, don't get me wrong, this fight was, I'm not sure what I predicted here. I think I said 29-27 Borralho, but I'm not sure. I gotta rewatch. But yeah, it definitely wasn't a domination, but it also was clearly a win. So there was no way the Ritter wins this fight. If he would have won, that would have been a robbery. But Borralho won, and considering it wasn't that convincing, you can definitely not give him a title fight after this. I also don't want to see Imavov rematch, because to me the first fight Imavov won very clearly, and I just feel like it would be super unfair towards Imavov if they just say, okay, you have to fight him again, you know. And yeah, so only one guy really remains. Strickland's out, Hernandez is out, Chimaev is out, the Ritter is gone. We got Brandon Allen, but he also already has a fight booked. So yeah, pretty much everyone is out except one guy who hasn't fought in almost a year, and I'm starting to get pissed because I really liked him. And the guy I'm talking about is Dricus du Plessis. I feel like this would be the perfect matchup to make Caio Borralho versus DDP. Make it happen. That would be the next title fight contender. Who wins this gets the next title fight. Easy peasy. This fight makes absolute sense for me. Both brawlers. This should be a very fun fight. I definitely would like to see it. And by the way, one thing I forgot about the Ritter, because there's another middleweight guy who talks about moving up to light heavyweight. It's Robert Whittaker, and honestly, I wouldn't mind a rematch in light heavyweight between the Ritter and Whittaker. First fight was very close, could have gone either way, so it would be kind of fun. I don't know if this ever existed, that the same guys fought each other twice but in different weight classes, so that could be an option too, but let's see. But yeah, so the fight I initially was talking about, Caio Borralho versus DDP, let's go for that. Okay, and now for the main event of the evening. We have a new BMF, Charles do Bronx Oliveira. Okay, so first of all, let's address the elephant in the room. frustrated he was. So, generally speaking, if this was a normal title fight, I wouldn't even mind a little bit. I would have said insane performance and that's it, you know. Blank, point blank, that's it. Perfect. But you are fighting for the BMF title. Bad motherfucker. This belt is bullshit anyway, but it was fun because everyone who fought for the belt knew this belt is meant to be to show who's the sickest banger guy, like bad motherfucker. And now let's be honest, is controlling someone on the ground for 25 minutes bad? Yes, it is. It is bad as fuck. You are a bad man if you can do that. But that's not what people want to see when they hear BMF. And that is why I do understand why people criticize Oliveira's performance. Again, if this was for the lightweight title, no one would say anything. 100% everyone would be okay. But bro, this is just a gimmick belt anyway, so why not at least try a bit more, you know? But again, I'm not the fighter. Why would I willingly take damage if I can just dominate my opponent for 25 minutes? So again, I'm not saying it was shit that he did what it did. It's just, if we keep fighting like this in a BMF fight, I wonder why this belt even exists in the first place. You know what I mean? Maybe you guys agree with me on this. For a BMF fight, it was a shit performance, but in general, it was amazing. But a big, big letdown for everyone watching, because that's not what you wanted to see. Especially because Oliveira didn't even look bad in the standing trades. At the end, he even pointed down and he landed, while Holloway only landed on his shoulder. So I don't know, but he won fair and square. So let's start with the loser, Max Holloway. Bro took barely any damage, that's the only good thing, so he can bounce back quick, I guess. We got an announcement for the White House card. So considering that some fighters already fall out of are not an option basically, I went through the rankings and everything, counted out all the matchups that are already made, the White House matchups, people that just fought or are still hurt, and there's literally just two guys left. It's Dan Hooker and Paddy Pimblett, and honestly, Hooker looked very, very bad in his last two fights. Okay, to be fair, he fought Sarukian and Benoit Saint-Denis, both younger guys, absolute insane fighters. Hooker is older, has been in a lot of wars, so it's no shame to lose to those guys. But I feel like Holloway is just gonna piece him up even harder. He's actually leaving him with brain damage. So, as sad as it is, to me, the only logical guy that makes sense is Paddy Pimblett. Let's do Holloway versus Pimblett. Why not? Okay, I mean, why not, right? I am afraid it could be another Oliveira because Pimblett does have a good ground game, and Pimblett does nasty weight cuts. Like, he is a real weight bully at lightweight, and I feel like it could happen again, that because that's also a factor with Oliveira. This guy just has different power than the featherweights Holloway had fought to that point. So I feel like Pimblett also brings that power, but Pimblett is definitely not Oliveira. So I feel like I don't see as dominant as of a performance performance. Like, you know, with Oliveira, you could just see he figured it out. He just realized, yo, I'm just way stronger. I'll just take him down whenever I want. And I feel like maybe Pimblett isn't that perfectly experienced. So yeah, let's make Max Holloway versus Paddy Pimblett. And you know how much UFC loves Pimblett. If he beats Holloway, they probably justify giving him another title shot. So yeah, let's see where this leads. Okay, and now the winner of the BMF fight, Charles Oliveira. Respect to this guy. He avenged his loss. He lost to to Holloway years ago, a lot of years ago, over 10 years ago. Bounced back in a very dominant fashion. Again, huge respect. Love this guy. Everyone loves Oliveira. Like, even though I'm like, this whole wholesomeness is boring, I respect it a lot. I'd rather have an authentic, nice guy than fake trash talker, you know. So yeah, super awesome guy. Now, of course, he beat Gamrot, he beat Holloway. You could easily argue to give him a title shot, but, and now we will move to the White House card after what I said, but there is already a title fight booked in the White House card. So either Oliveira is gonna wait like 1 year to fight, I guess, or in the meantime he proves himself once more against the, in my opinion, real #1 contender, which is Arman Tsarukyan. We got history. They fought already. Tsarukyan won first fight, but it was very, very, very close. Could have gone either way, arguably. But yeah, I feel like this would be a true #1 contender fight. I know they're not gonna give Tsarukyan a title shot without at least one more fight. He kinda works on his social media presence, so this can be beneficial for him. But I saw an interview with Colby Covington, and he said that basically if you fuck up with the UFC, they ice you out. Basically what they do is they just don't offer you any fights. So yeah, they literally ice you, and that's what they do with Tsarukyan at the moment. Pretty much they either give him fights that don't make sense, or shitty pay or something like that, and if he doesn't accept, they are like, okay, then fuck off. So yeah, anyway, I feel like this would be the perfect fight. Charles Oliveira versus Tsarukyan. We got a rematch from a very close first fight. Two clear #1 contenders for next title shots. Very evenly matched. I feel like this has to be the next fight, and the only fight that makes sense. I don't know, maybe you can do this in Dubai or something. I don't know, maybe Madison Square Garden, even though, that's too long, maybe International Fight Week, maybe that could be with a McGregor headline, and Tsarukyan, Oliveira, co-main could be interesting. Yeah, so that's my matchmaking for today. Now, really quick, let's also talk about the White House card, which got announced. So first of all, let me make one thing clear. The two main fights are absolute bangers. Like, it's pretty much the two biggest fights you could make. We got the main event, Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje. I said that already. It's the only fight that makes sense. Yeah, of course, the odds are heavy towards Ilya, but you have an interim champ and a champ. Like, of course, they are gonna fight each other. And the funny part is, I heard talks that initially the fight would have been Tuporia versus Makachev, I guess at welterweight then. And Makachev wanted too much money, so last minute they decided for Gaethje versus Tuporia. You could even see Hunter Campbell being frustrated during the weigh-ins because the fight got cancelled. And yeah, so we got Justin Gaethje versus Ilia Topuria as main event, and co-main event, banger. And fuck everyone who said John Jones. You gotta be, I don't know, just a delusional fanboy if you actually wanna see John Jones versus Alex Pereira. Sorry guys, some people might be offended by that, but it's one of the last fights I would have wanted to see. The only reason I would have wanted to see Jones versus Pereira is because, oh my god, how much would I like to see one left hook knock John Jones out stiff, but thank god this fight didn't happen, and instead we get Cyril Gahn versus Alex Pereira. Super amazing fight. Oh my fucking god, I'm so hyped. I can't believe it, man. Similar stature, similar fighting style, boxers, strikers, technical, jumping around, one guy jumping around, the other guy very focused. This fight is gonna be a banger. I feel like Gahn is like, Pereira will probably be surprised how light Gahn is on the feet, but I feel like just Gahn is missing a bit of experience. He doesn't fight as much as Pereira, and I feel like if I had to predict this fight, I feel like maybe it goes first round, second round, but I feel like the more the fight goes, the more Pereira will find a way to cut off the corners, and we will just reach a point where he backs him off against the cage and then just left hook to from hell. But this to me is the actual main event. I'm more hyped for that fight than the Gaethje fight. But now, with that out of the way, what the actual fuck is this shitty ass card? They promised us 6 or 7, and it wasn't even a dumb Zoomer joke. He actually said 6 or 7 fights, but we get 2, of which one is an interim fight. So UFC is so disgusting, this company. But yeah, so we get 2 title fights, and the rest is O'Malley versus Zahabi. What the fuck? We get Chandler versus Rufi. What the fuck? So we're gonna kill Chandler now or what? Come on, man, this guy deserved better. Then we got, I can't believe it, Bo fucking Nickel made it on another main card of a legendary event. He already was on 300, now on this. I don't know if this guy has like some secret Epstein files with whom he's like, you know, how do you say erpressen it's erpressen in German, like blackmail or something, blackmail them with some insider files, but I just don't understand how this guy makes it. But what is funny about that is, I don't know if any of you guys remember, it's been months ago, but the matchup they did, Bo Nickel versus Kyle Dawkins, that's a match I proposed in my matchmaking. It was the very first one of my lists. I even looked back, I don't know exactly, but I did exactly that matchup, Bo Nickel versus Kyle Dawkins. So Dana or Hunter Campbell, you better give me some thousands for that insane tip I gave you. You got a main event House card. I don't even know. I forgot already. No, Diego Lopez versus I don't know, some Mexican guy. Steve Garcia, I think. This could be interesting. Yeah, okay, but guys, that's not what. That is a nice main card. Don't get me wrong. If this was the UFC 329, banger, one of the best numbered events, not even kidding. But you for 1 year, you talk about UFC White House card. It's gonna be the craziest event ever. We have 6 or 7 title fights, blah blah blah, and then you deliver this shit. And guys, I hope I'm not wrong, or at least my friend is not wrong, because I initially thought that's the entire card. I thought my thought process was that it's too hard to like book the White House for an event that goes on for 8 hours. So I thought that's actually all the fights that are gonna be on the White House card. But a friend of mine said no, he's pretty sure that's just the main card, and they will release early prelims and prelims, which please, I hope, because then we could still get a lot of exciting fights, and we are just that unfortunate to have a pretty shit main card. But if there are prelims and early prelims, guys, there are so many options we could still do. Like we could put the Pimblet or Holloway fight on there, even though this to me would be a main card event, so it doesn't really make sense. We could put a Kobe Covington in there. He definitely wants to fight. We could put a Kevin Holland there, also American, also I bet he wants to fight. Strickland said no, and Strickland is already booked. I mean, hell, we could even put the Sarukian Oliveira fight on there. Why not, man? What else is there? What Americans? Doesn't necessarily have to be American. I mean, it's hard now, just so from the top of my head. But yeah, I mean, Covington, Kevin Holland, maybe some old guys. Bring back Nate Diaz, bring back Masvidal, bring back, I don't know, Robbie Lawler, bring back Anderson Silva. I don't even care. Do something interesting for the prelims too, if there will be any, and maybe the card will look better. But guys, like Bo Nickel, Dorcas should be prelim. O'Malley Zahabi could be maybe first fight. Like if I'm generous, I would say the only fight that doesn't fit on the main card is the Dorcas Bo Nickel fight. So if I had to choose, I would remove that, and instead we put the Sarukian Oliveira, Holloway Pimblet, Covington versus Usman. Why not? Why not? Make Covington Usman 3. Wouldn't that be amazing? We got the rivalry, we got the backstory, we got 2 Americans. Like, I don't know why people disrespect Kobe that much, because you can hate him as much as you want. He was the guy who started the entire MAGA Trump thing, bringing this side into the UFC, and I feel like they really disrespected what they did for them. And he was so outspoken that he wants to be on the card. He even said, put me on the prelims, I don't even care. So I don't know why they pass on this opportunity to put in a Colby Covington. Man, they could even do something entirely new. Maybe add 2 wrestling matches. Who cares? Make the White House card something entirely on its own. And wrestling is an American thing, so why not add some wrestling fights too? I don't care. Just make something special. So yeah, guys, I talked enough for today. But I kind of felt bad because I made so less videos, and we got a lot to talk about. We got the White House card. It's something special to talk about. So yeah, guys, I hope you appreciate the work I'm putting into these videos. I hope you like my matchmaking. Tell me, how did you like the BMF event? How did you like the White House card? Do you like the fights? What fights would you like to see there? Are there any special matchups you have in mind? Would you want McGregor? I would want, but I told you already in the prediction video, there's no way they're gonna put McGregor on the White House card, and I was correct. So yeah, I'm curious on what you say. Thank you for watching.